Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Motivational Mondays with Donna. I pray that everyone has been having a good time of it. And if you're having challenges, remember that God is with you through every single thing and that you're going to make it because you're stronger than you think. Now, there's a religious song that's very near and dear to my heart. It's called Waymaker, Miracle Worker. And honestly, it fills me with such joy to listen to it. And the words, tears just flow listening to it and just recognizing what it means. And some of the words in the song say that even when I don't feel him, he's working. Even when I don't see him, he's working. And that's the truth because God is always working behind the scenes. Even when you don't see it and you don't feel it, he's working things out for your good. And so that's something that you want to be able to rejoice about. And that brings me to the topic I want to talk about today, and that is grace. God gives us grace every day to be able to accomplish whatever we need to accomplish. Now, for some of us who may have health issues and you wake up with aches and pains and there's things that's not working the way they should, whether it's poor circulation, whether it's digestive issues, whether it's, whatever it may be, you're still able to get things done. And that's because of God's grace. And that's something that you have to be thankful for tremendously. Now, in the Bible, there was a woman by the name of Hannah. And Hannah was married to a man named Elkanah. Now, Elkanah actually worked with polygamy. He had more than one wife. And the other wife, Peninnah, was not nice to Hannah because Peninnah was blessed with a very fruitful womb. She was able to have many children, and Hannah's womb was barren. And so she tormented and tortured Hannah, that you not a good enough wife to Elkanah the way I am because I can give him children and you can't. And that hurt Hannah tremendously, and she cried and cried and cried. And she begged God to please open up her womb and give her a male son. And if he did, she would dedicate that son back to God for him to be able to use in his service any way he chose. And God heard her cry and answered her prayers and actually gave her a male son. And he turned out to be the prophet Samuel. Now, you know the books in the Bible of Samuel and the things that Samuel said and was able to do. It was the grace of God the entire time on Hannah's life for her to endure everything that she was going through and how awful that Peninnah was treating her. Because at one point, her husband, Elkanah, had said, Hannah, you have me. Aren't I more important to you than even if you had 10 kids? But just feeling inadequate and that she could not give him a male child or children was just devastating to her. But God pulled through like he always does. And she was able to deliver. But that grace that God put on her to be able to go through it the entire time, that's remarkable. And grace is something that you want to pray and ask God for every day. Because not everybody that may be going through the same issues that you are has the grace on their life from God to do the things that you're able to do. And that's a tremendous blessing. And that's something you have to be so thankful to God for that grace that he's placed on you. Now, my best friend, my girlfriend, she is someone who has the grace of God on her life in a tremendous way. I mean, in a tsunami sort of way. Okay. She's old enough to be my mother, and she's just fantastic. She has had to endure so much pain in her life, but God's grace has brought her through it and had her flourish where she's still moving forward. I mean, she's been married multiple times and actually has buried 3 husbands. That alone says so much. But she actually was a caregiver for every one of those husbands because all 3 of them were sickly. She was a caregiver for her mom before her mom passed away. She lost a really, really good friend of hers. And that hurt tremendously. On top of all of that, I can only imagine what it's like for a parent, a mother, to have to bury your child before you. She lost her son, and he was fairly young. So she's had to tread through a lot of dark days. But God's grace has been there for her for everything and for every moment to be able to go through it and endure. And every day she's moving forward. Every day she's giving thanks to God. Every Sunday she's in church. Some mornings she's turning around sending me, good morning prayers before, she goes to work. She is remarkable. And that's God's grace. It really is. And that's something that you want to pray and ask God for, because it's so important and much more than you can think. There are people out there, and you really need to recognize this, that are going through the same things that you're going through. But if they tell you, I don't know how you can do it, I'm not able to do it, I don't have the strength to do that, notice, recognize that is the grace of God on your life that's allowing you to accomplish what you're able to accomplish. Not everybody can do that. But grace from God will allow you to do tremendous things. Pray for that. Ask for that. Revel in that. Because you have it. Now, we're going to switch to gratitude, which, we always do. And this person goes without saying, the accolades and, how tremendous he is. So inspirational, so motivational. The impact he has had on so many people's lives, author, coach, speaker, philanthropist, none other than Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins has had this to say where gratitude is concerned, that when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Think about that. Get past the fear. Because fear really is just false evidence appearing real. When you get past that, you can abound and do awesome things. So always be grateful, always be thankful for every single thing, no matter how small. Because when you're grateful for the smaller things, God knows that then He can bless you with the larger things. So cultivate that attitude of gratitude and thank God for His grace. Have a great week, guys. Talk to you next week.